How do you respond when your entire world just changed? I'm serious. Think about it for a moment. Weeks ago, you weren't even thinking about social distancing or practicing isolation. Now, how do we network? How do we grow our business? How do we stay connected? Furthermore, how can we be of service during this time? Join our host, Tony Grebmeier, and today's guests as they share their best practices and insights to help you navigate the waters ahead. Welcome to Networking Remote.
Welcome to Networking Remote 2020. My name is Tony Grebmeier. It's episode number 7, and my dogs are barking. That tells me where I'm at right now. I am home. This is week 7 of being home. And this is a series of discussions of business, connections, community in a time of isolation. It's brought to you in part by ShipOffers. It's an honor to be here today. I brought an amazing panel of just good friends and guests who are going to share their experiences and help you to kind of navigate the waters ahead. We are joined by Tanner Larsson, CEO of Build, Grow, Scale, Matthew Stafford, CMO of Build, Grow, Scale, and Nick Coates, the CEO of Sawtooth Media Group. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here today. I think it's exciting. Yeah. I can take off my bifocals. Now I can see you guys really, really clear. These past 7 weeks have kind of been a blur. And so what I'd love to do is just kind of have you guys share today a little bit currently where you're at, maybe a little bit of how quarantine, so to speak, isolation has been for you. And then we'll get into all the tactics about what your businesses do, and then all the ways that we can kind of support the audience and the groups today. So let's kick it off with Matt. We'll go to then Tanner, and then we'll go down to Nick.
So for us, we already worked remote for the most part. So for us, this has been business as usual. And the nice thing is we've actually had a lot more people available to us because of the opportunity. So I think anybody that's not doing it right now, there's a lot of opportunity available.
Yeah, I mean, to build on what he said, out of our 45 team, the only people who actually went into an office regularly was pretty much me and our ops manager, Christina. But now with me working from home more, I've had to relearn how to work at home a little bit, also while homeschooling, which is wonderful. And I'm so thrilled, if you can look at my face, to be homeschooling my children, who I'm pretty sure somebody else has ruined because it can't be my fault. But yeah, so that's the hard part for me, is business as usual. We're working harder and more than ever, but now I've got 2 little heathens that I have to school. And I'm pretty sure the teachers are just awful in this house. So that's my hard part.
I like it. All right, Nick, up to you.
Yeah, man. Same for me. Echoing what Tanner said. I mean, running, online businesses. Everybody almost that I know is either working the hardest they ever have to rapidly pivot what they're doing right now to be relevant, or they're working the hardest they ever have because their businesses are just booming right now, right? So either way, though, we're all working the hardest that we've ever worked. And we also, for those of us that do have kids, which I do have a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old, and the 9-year-old is basically a mini me, which means he's a hellion, and I have a real hard time homeschooling him. A whole new found appreciation for his educators, and feel very very sorry for them that they have to deal with him on a daily basis. But no, so I ended up actually hiring a virtual teacher. Tanner, a little hack, maybe that'll work for you. But I put a little Facebook Live out and said, I need help. It was
I watched it. Yeah, we're actively looking to copy you right now.
It's so good. It's only 2 hours a day, but anyways, it gives him some structure every day where he's really challenged. He's smart, and so if he's not challenged and he's running around getting all crazy, and I can't do what I got to do. So that has been a challenge. What has been really cool for me is that I've found a lot of newfound sort of excitement and energy and all sorts of stuff from my team. My team is flourishing having gone remote. We were physically in an office together previously, and man, they're just killing it. And so I'm trying to figure out how I, don't renew my lease at the office perhaps, or change up where I'm going to be, because I found out that really the office was for me more than it was for my employees, because I enjoy being around them and being a part of the energy. It's just my personality, but my employees clearly enjoy being at home and working more, and they're doing amazing. So I just, that's my update.
What would you say, Nick? Like now that you've recognized maybe I don't need this office, so to speak, right? But there's a need inside of you for that connection piece, right? And that's like really, for me, that's it, right? I write it down all the time. Contribution and connection are the two things that I'm really, really good at. I haven't necessarily like thrived, but I haven't necessarily sucked either. I've kind of just been balancing kind of like this way, and I feel a little off, just kind of being at home, not having that interaction. How about you?
100%. It was very hard for me, but now I found my groove. It took me about a month to find my personal groove, because I'm a very I think we all are like habitual people. Like I kind of do the routines, every day. I'm used to my routine, and so this threw me out of my routine, and it took me about a month to sort of get back into my new routine now, which is now it's my new norm, and I love it. And the reason I just am finding different ways and reasons to love it is really what it is. So like, for example, we have these team calls now. We have daily stand-ups virtually, and then we have Monday and Friday calls. Monday calls are where we set our big rocks for the week as a team, and I make sure that all of the team is like that. Those big rocks are aligned with my company's big rocks on a quarterly basis. So we're kind of making sure that's like a checkpoint. And if I hear that their big rocks really aren't, aligned with, hang on, this is asking for permission here.
No, you're good. That's just me.
No, I don't think that's us. That's everybody else.
Perfect. I just want to make sure that it didn't need permission. Anyways, that alignment call at the beginning of the week, one thing we do at the beginning of that call that's really created that culture feeling still is we talk about our weekends. What did you guys do for the weekend? This last weekend, and we talk about, fun stuff, whatever it is. If somebody drank too much one night, or, it's just like we're like a team and a family on that Monday call. And then we get into what our intentions are for the week with those big rocks. And then on our Friday calls, we do this really cool thing where it's biggest wins, biggest challenges, and then a shout out for somebody on the team that they think went above and beyond, which we never did that before when we were in a physical office. And it's actually just brought the team so much closer together. So I'm finding, to answer your question, Tony, I'm finding like joy in new things is how I'm filling my cup that wasn't getting filled otherwise.
No, I think it's, finding the new, and people have been throwing the word new normal, which I just tell you, it's like we're moving forward. Like, and every day is new, right? You and I, all of us, we've never seen today. If we look on the calendar, we've never seen this date. This is a new thing for us. And so the data, the feedback, and everything has been like, at first it was overwhelming because, for me, and like I told you, I need the connection. And then the number two thing that I did, and I'd love to dive into this with Matt and Tanner too, is just how you're kind of surviving. And then the news, how much was the news on early, and then how much is the news on now?
Yeah, well, I'll start right there. I actually don't watch the news, so I've always figured that if it's important enough, someone will let me know, and so I literally just don't watch it. So I haven't probably seen more than 45 minutes of everything that's being reported, and the really bad stuff. If I really needed to hear it, someone would tell me. Yeah, so to be totally honest, I just don't watch the news, so I don't really care. It doesn't affect me day to day, and if something's super important, I hear it from my network.
What about you're out in Los Angeles? Is the news on at anybody else's place that you're like in quarantine with, or because that's my problem, right? The news is on the other room, channels are surfing, you can hear them, and then it gets stuck, and I'm like, oh crap. turn that stuff off. Like
thankfully, no. So, I literally just got here last Friday. So I did see that this is like one of the harder hit areas, but I saw that in the airport when I was coming. Other than that, I was in Raleigh, North Carolina for the last 18 months, and they haven't really had a bad problem with it in North Carolina. So just for me, it's business as usual just because I work from home anyways. So.
Perfect. Tanner?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2009 since I actually actively watched the news. Like that was the year I was like, this is nothing but crap. I'm never going to watch it again. And my life got progressively better. My wife's the same way. We kind of did that together. But I mean, obviously I've seen news stuff and whatnot, but I don't actively seek it out. I like for this COVID crap, I looked at like the CDC, and I've looked at like medical publications and stuff like that. But any kind of mainstream media stuff, I try to block it out. The only place that infects me from that, a little bit from our team when they talk about it, but we kind of have squashed that in terms of like, if it's not factual, if you don't know, if it's like mainstream media, don't share it in our Slack channels to keep it out. But is my relatives that I talk to who are, you know, like my family's like Fox News, you know, they live on it, and it's nothing good on there. It's all negative. So I have to like filter what they're telling me, and I just basically block it out because, you know, I'm kind of with Matt. Like if I need something, I'll figure it out. Someone will tell me or whatever. But if it's coming from the mainstream media, I don't need it, because it's not, especially now. And anyone on Facebook who's sharing crap like that, like I'm hiding their posts. I don't need it. Like there's enough shit going on in my own life that I have to deal with that's real, that I don't need this outside stimulus that's predominantly negative, no matter whether there's a pandemic going on or just regular life. Good news doesn't get spread.
A new flavor of Ben and Jerry's can come out, and in 5 seconds, someone's going to say something negative about it, right?
It caused all the obesity in America. Now all kids are fat because of Ben and Jerry's, not because their parents let them eat it.
Right. So that's my whole kind of like idea has been like, control the controllables, man. Like, what do you got control over? I think let's shift, because I think we're right there. I mean, Nick kicked us off great today. I mean, hey, I got a hack. I hired somebody to come and help teach my kids. Number one, help them to stay focused, right? Let Nick do what he loves, and you know, then he can be with his kids as being a parent, but doesn't have to be their teacher too. Huge shout out to all the teachers. I got to say,
massive.
Yeah. You want to talk about a profession that, you know, low paid, doesn't get the respect they deserve. They basically, for a lot of people, their young kids are being babysat by these teachers and trying to be taught something. And you're like, I got to go to parent teacher tonight. You know how much you're going to enjoy talking like about parent teacher conferences in the future when you're.
I can't wait. I can't wait to give my kids back to them.
Because you're like, you go. So I think a huge shout out to just the teachers, and you want to talk about some adaptable creatures. You know, there was no real homeschool, like online, you know, thing for maybe the majority of the people. There was in little pockets everywhere, but man, you want to talk about how fast they quickly adapted. And so I want to talk today, Nick, talk a little bit about your business. I'd love to know and let everybody know, what is it that you do? And then what are some of the things now that your teams are remote that you've adapted to be able to help your people even more?
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, my business is Sawtooth Media Group. It's actually kind of rapidly evolving and growing, which is kind of cool. In the last 30 days, I've acquired ownership interest in a couple of different companies that I'm bolting on as services in Sawtooth Media Group. So one is Sawtooth Media Group historically was a performance marketing company that would do marketing for equity in businesses. So we weren't an agency. Like, we would partner with companies, do the marketing, and we were partners in the business. So I have some fractional ownership across, you know, multiple online-based businesses, either info products or e-comm supplement space particularly. Now though, however, all the media buying, I acquired a part of a media buying agency, and then I acquired a part of a video production agency. So I get a lot of deal flow coming to Sawtooth of people that want us to like help them build their business, but they don't want to partner. They want to do it in like an agency or a fee for service type capacity. And we just weren't set up for that previously. And so now we have, the websites aren't live yet, but we'll have Sawtooth Digital coming out, which will be our media buying agency, and then Sawtooth Productions coming out, which will be our video production agency. I'm a firm believer that great video creative and great media buying are two completely different skill sets and shouldn't be housed in the same building, basically, or the same person. And so I think it's really cool, like complementary offering. And then I have a remote customer service call center, which also is growing like crazy right now because a lot of people lost their customer service. With the brick and mortar shutting down, and my model was already remote in that business. And we mostly employ stay-at-home moms, which is such a cool model. They're very, highly educated, all US based employees in the call center. And so, yeah, that's growing too. And that's kind of the suite of services that we have in Sawtooth. So if the right deals, we'll partner with people. And if on an agency capacity, we can handle their media buying or their video production and sales funnel work. So those are what we do in a service capacity.
I love it. Hey, you got a couple shout outs. Vinny Fisher said hello to you guys. And then
what up, Vinny?
What's up, Vinny?
Ricky also said, what's up, Nick and Tanner?
Yeah, I love
Ricky. Yeah, I haven't seen his work. That guy's one of the most talented sales page designers you'll ever find.
Totally agree.
Keep up there again, so you can. There you go. So hey, and if you want to join the conversation online while we are live, all you have to do is give us access to be able to share your information by going to streamyard.com/Facebook, and you can join the conversation. Give them permission, then we can show your question and hear for the guys. Tanner, you're up.
Yeah, so Matt and I own Build, Grow, Scale together. Something that I had started previously, but then Matt and I joined forces back in the early days of it to kind of change its direction. And Build, Grow, Scale is an e-commerce data optimization company with an education side. So we basically have two sides of our business. The main side of our business is our optimization. We've kind of coined a term called revenue optimization, which is our spin on conversion rate optimization that deals with other metrics that we believe are more important. We kind of believe conversion rate is a vanity metric. And so we can look at kind of the full, sorry, if you guys can hear the landscapers, they just decided to hit their stuff. So sorry.
We can't hear it, Tanner.
Oh, you can't? Okay, cool. Then my noise canceling is working.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel, totally. Oh, he's like standing right next to my window. But anyway, so that's what we do with the data optimization is we kind of like Nick, we partner with bigger brands and we provide a optimization and data service to them where we actually plug in our team into the back end and have an active full-time team that is constantly running split tests, analyzing the data, and dialing in their revenue so that more money stays in their pocket at the end of the month. In a nutshell, we help them make way more money from what they're already doing. They don't require more ad spend so that they can actually scale when the time comes. And our kind of claim to fame there is within about 90 days, we can typically double, if not triple, a business's size and revenue without any additional ad spend, just by dialing in the customer journey and optimizing. And whereas most stores, if they're lucky and they have the capability, can run 1 to 2 split tests a month, we're running 30 to 40 a week across a network of 20 to 30 different 8 and 9 figure type range stores. So the amount of data we collect, and then Matt and our philosophy is a rising tide raises all ships. So when we have a win on one store, we roll that across our network of stores and test it out. It doesn't mean it's always going to work. What works for a knitting store is not always going to work for a supplement store, but it gives us the best baseline to test. So all of our stores raise and improve. And then from there, we take all that data and all that knowledge that we have, which is at this point is somewhere north of $400 million worth of test results. And we apply that to our education side, where we actually teach store owners and business owners that want to do this themselves that don't fit the partner model for us or whatever else. And one of the ways we're adapting right now, Matt can talk about why we're growing and how the team is kind of cohesively being massive right now, and just it's insane what they're doing. But one of the things that we saw is there's a very big lack in the market for good beginner level education to take someone who lost their job, is now Googling online, how do I start a business? How do I start an online e-commerce business or whatever? and getting them up and running with the right foundation. There's plenty of get-rich-quick type programs and crappy guru programs out there that don't really teach anything sustainable. And these people who are lost their job and are looking to build a business online or pivot, as Nick was talking about, need something. So we started building out a beginner's program taught along our principles, backed by all of our data. And we're about to launch a beginner program to help people take that first step. And we've already got the build and the scale programs for us, but this is our newest initiative right now.
I like that. All right, Matthew, what I'm looking for is your version of Tanner's pitch, because I'd love to see how different or identical they are.
Yeah, honestly, I would say it is identical. The one thing that I would say that's slightly different is not all of those people have lost their job that are looking for another way to make money. But what's happened is now they have that fear of, wow, like you can't always count on everything that I thought would be what our daily life is. And so I've talked to a lot of people that are looking at starting an online business as a second source of income, almost like a backup. And so it's something that they'll build, maybe a slow burn over time, just so that they know that if their industry gets hit by some weird circumstance, that they're going to be okay. And I think a lot of that is because what they've noticed is that the people that are already online aren't suffering from this. Like it's really funny. We're actually thriving in it, because before this, I think average online shopping was about 10% of the economy, 10, 11%. Now all these people have been forced to go home and learn how to adapt and use their computer and go online. Like our stores are like literally just crushing it. And so for us, it's not to like say that we're happy that any of this has happened, but as far as from a business standpoint, it's really been amazing. So we're not sad about that part of it at all.
Did you guys see the article that came out yesterday about Universal and the movie Trolls, and how basically they said AMC's like, hey, we're not going to show any more Universal movies because you released Trolls at home. Basically, you skipped the theater and you went digital. And it was like, I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of money it did, something right around $100 million. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
My wife told me about it. She didn't tell me the whole story, just that AMC movie theaters will no longer do anything with Universal because they basically got butthurt.
But that's the part of what I believe is amazing for all of us, is that new things are being created from it, right? Things that you're having to adapt. And so how's going to the gym for you three? Like, is it any different, home gym, or do you miss going to a gym?
Yeah, I just, it's funny. I just partnered with a fitness brand called Outdoor Body, which is an at-home workout program where this Tommy Casano spent the last year traveling the country to do workouts in all the national parks in 4K. So they're at-home workouts. So me and my family have been doing the Outdoor Body workouts, which is super cool. Because we're about to launch the brand. It hasn't even launched yet, but we've got access to obviously all the members area and all that kind of stuff, right? So what's been really cool, just talking about like cool changes from this, is that like me and my kids and my wife work out together in the backyard with like the laptop up, and we're, streaming outdoor workouts that are just awesome. And, it's changed for sure. I mean, I'm not like lifting heavy weights, but I'm staying active, and that's been really good. So, and the kids enjoy it. I mean, I think there's a lot of really cool things that came out of this, like things that we would only do when we went camping, like, playing the little games in the yard kind of stuff. We normally, where our camping games are now our games that we're playing as a family together, and it's really brought us closer together. My kids, who were like at each other's throats nonstop, have been forced to become friends because they're all each other has. So like they're getting along better, which is cool. Not that they always get along and it's all roses. I mean, they still fight like siblings, but there's just some cool stuff that has come out of it, I think, for me from that standpoint.
Matt?
Yeah.
For me, I would say it's been a struggle because I had the advantage of where I was in Raleigh. The gym was part of my apartment complex, and so I had a trainer come there 3 days a week and train me. And when they shut down the gym for the complex, I was forced to, like Nick said, just do like in-home workouts or jump on the Peloton. And I've done good as far as doing the biking because that's super fun for me and easy to do. But I have not been as strict with doing the workouts like I would like to. So for sure, that's something I actually wrote about it in my journal this morning that I have to get recommitted to doing that just because the change of having what my habit was, I kind of fell off the horse and need to get restarted.
No, I appreciate it. Hey, Tanner, I want to throw just some love your way. I know one of our good friends was supposed to get married this past weekend, and I was like scrolling through Facebook, and I'm like, why is there like flowers and lattice and lace and everything hanging from like workout equipment? What the heck is going on? And then I look a little closer, and then I really see. So I'd love you to share about that because I think that's a touching story for a lot of people who had a wedding planned, had to move it, change it. And then what you did, which was a total home run. It was a really, really wonderful gesture. So I was really proud to see you do that. And then just talk about your routine as well.
Sure. One of my best friends, Glenn Dawson, who is also one of the most amazing like fitness trainers that you can possibly have. He's functional fitness. He's basically was the guy that cured my back problems, and he's helped actually everybody on this call. Yeah. He's helped all of us, and he's also my workout partner, and his fiance is my wife's workout partner, and they're some of the closest people. I mean, we probably spend more time with them on a weekly, daily, normal basis than any time. Also, they're always around. So when quarantine kind of happened, we were all kind of quarantined together anyway. We'd already been interacting, and we kind of broke the rules because home workouts, like I'm training for a bodybuilding competition that was supposed to be in July or June, but now it's in October, so it doesn't really matter anymore. So I was trying to keep my workouts straight, eating and all of that. So we bought all the equipment to keep my workouts going at the house. And Glenn and Bree would come over and work out with us at different times. And anyway, they were supposed to have a destination wedding in Cancun, of which we were going, Tony was going, and we were a part of the wedding and everything. And COVID happened, and the wedding got postponed and moved. And Bree took it really, really hard. Glenn was he was upset, but Bree took it really hard because it's the woman's wedding, and she was really worked up about it. And then it's actually my wife and my daughter Peyton had this idea that like, hey, let's celebrate their weekend since they're going to be here anyway. Let's celebrate their weekend. Let's do something cute. And my wife is like, she's the party planner. She has all the stuff and just has boxes and boxes of all this stuff. So she drug all this out, and she and Peyton went through and found all this wedding related stuff and decided that when Bree and Glenn, they didn't know it was coming. They showed up to work out on Sunday, and they walked in and they had the whole garage decorated in like this wedding theme. And it was a beach wedding. So they had cloth down that looked like sand and seashells everywhere and lights. And they had no idea what was going on. And so they made a wedding dress out of blankets, and they gave a little bow ties for us. And we were the maid of honor and the best man. And my son was already going to be the ring bearer. My daughter was the flower girl for the real wedding. And they had their stuff. So they wore their outfits that they were going to wear at the wedding. And we just had a little mini ceremony there for them. My mom acted as the officiant, or whatever you call it, the person who talks to you. And we basically married them in the garage underneath the squat rack. Just for fun. And they're still obviously it's not a legal wedding or anything, but they loved it. Bree started bawling. Glenn was crying. Everybody was crying. Got lots of pictures, and it was just a nice thing. And, they'd been really sad about it, and we kind of got to turn it into a little bit of a happier, funny, silly thing and make it good.
No, I think your mom did a wonderful job. That was my job. I was going to be
I know.
on the beach, and I was like, hey, you know what? When I saw that, I was like, you know what? That's so stinking cool. Because you know what? The date may have changed, but the moment became even like, it was so real because it was going to be a day on their calendar that they will always look back on and go, hey, we were supposed to get married on that day.
Yeah.
And, yes, it wasn't official, but yeah, they were able to still go through the process.
Yeah.
And all their friends, at least the close ones right then and there, were able to be there. So I just want to say it was really, really cool. And I've seen very few of those examples on my feeds. I've seen more people bitching and complaining about COVID. That was one of the highlights for me of what you can turn is something that you had no control over into what do you have control over is your attitude and how you show up. And you made something amazing out of something like that. So it was just really cool. And I think that, Glenn and Bree will always remember that forever. It's not just something that just came and went. It'll be always, they remember that their friends stepped up, because that's what I think what we need to do more of in our society now is we need to step up and do more. All of us on this call right now, we're capable of doing more than we're doing. And we know that. And that was just a really good example of it. So talk about your workout since, Glenn's your partner and you've been able to work out. So it looks like you have a home gym and you're able to do all this.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I work out in a gym normally, and I actually love that aspect because it's the 1 hour of my day that's actually mine. Because as soon as I get to the office, it's not my time anymore. As soon as I get home, it's not my time anymore. But at the gym is mine. And it's my seizing the day, because we work out, about usually 5 a.m. or so, 6 a.m. So normally it's dark. So I'm driving to the gym. I feel like I'm conquering the world before anybody else is up, get my day on, get a great workout in, come back, and I feel like I'm ready to conquer the day. The home gym definitely for me sucks. Like I don't enjoy it. My wife, however, has been thriving in the home gym. She loves it. We don't have all the machines and stuff, but we've got everything we need to be able to lift correctly and heavy, and do all the right exercises. But I don't have the cable machines and all of that. I find that my motivation at home, I haven't missed a workout. Every morning I'm out there, but my intensity level and my commitment to the workout is less. And I'm having to I'll find myself half-assing a rep or being willing to skip my stretching routine and things like that, which I would never do at the gym. Because that's my zone. So I have not hit my stride there yet. However, I've been able to continue to gain weight and put on muscle and not get too fat and do all the things I'm supposed to be doing while doing that. But a lot of that is Glenn pushing me, because he's like, dude, you're being a pansy right now. Lift the damn weight. Well, I don't like it here. Whatever. He's like, it's your house. You can't not, and it's in my man cave. This garage where I work out is literally my world. It's guns, it's Broncos, it's McLarens. It's my world. And I still don't want to be out there.
Is your Bronco anywhere near back to normal?
Oh, that's my COVID tragedy. This is my.
You sent me a photo the day you got it. You're like, I love this thing. I'm going to, I may put a little bit of money into it. It could be a project me and my boy do, but
Yeah. So it from I bought it thinking I bought it mostly done and I would only have to do little things. And then I started finding all this half-ass work the previous owner did. So I wound up blowing it apart, doing a full restoration, which is great. I loved it. For the last 6 months, it's been at the body shop or a body shop and painter. I picked it up about 2 weeks ago and it looked like shit. And I was like, maybe it's just dirty. I got it home. We cleaned it up. We tried to do a cut and buff on it. I had all my friends who are painters come over and look at it. And they're like, dude, this guy raped your Bronco. And so in the story, I now yesterday put down a deposit on a brand new body to go on my Bronco that has to be built from scratch because the body's so jacked up. So now I'm another 4 or 5 months out, it'll be about another 15 to 20 grand on top of the ungodly amounts of money that I've already spent doing the restoration. But now it's do I just leave it and not finish it, or do I throw more money at it and finish it and just never be able to sell it, which I don't want to do anyway.
Tom Hanks, I forget the girl who was in it. It was Money Pit.
This is beyond.
Yeah.
If I had literally bought every part individually, it would have been faster and cheaper. I now have basically the equivalent of 2 Broncos in one price-wise. Now, when it's finished, it'll be amazing as it can be. But I just lost 6 months on money, and now I'm losing another 3 to 4 months while they build me a new body Then it still has to be painted. Then oh my God.
All right, cool.
That's my sad story.
I think we've got
First world problem totally, but
next
it's broken my heart.
We're going to go, how do we make money right now? How do we take the skill?
How do we pay for the Bronco?
Hold on a second. How do we take the skill or craft that we each have and help somebody watching right now who maybe has a thought or an idea? Matt talked about it. Maybe like a new person coming on board with a passion or an idea. How do we help? Give me, start with, give me a couple tactical things.
Totally.
Maybe you've heard the question. You had to start over. Here's $5,000. What would you do? Perry, Belcher talks about it. Like, if I had $5,000, this is what I needed to do. This is my first hire. This is how I'd build my, minimal viable product. Here's how I'd launch. But he's not here. You three are. So I think you're some of the sharpest three individuals I know. So I want to get some tactics on helping somebody watching right now, how to take an idea, concept. Nick, you're good in the sup world. Tanner, you guys are good with so many areas of the business, but let's talk about it and let's go help somebody today, maybe launch a new business.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. So I think, a couple of things right now. It all starts with mindset, to be honest with you. I mean, you've got to get your mindset right, and you've got to go harder than you've ever gone right now. Like, this is where there'll be a massive transference of wealth in the next 12 months. And everybody has a decision to make right now, what side of that they're going to be on. And it's the ones that put their heads down and do the work now that are going to be on the right side of that transference of wealth, right? There'll be a success story instead of a sad story when everybody else is like, what'd you do during COVID? Did you gain 20 pounds and do nothing and watch Netflix and eat Cheetos? Or did you build a business, right? It's an amazing time to build a business. So, with that said, I think there's a couple of different things people can do. I love Tanner and Matt's idea of starting a Shopify store. There's all sorts of really great drop shipping models out there that don't require a lot. A friend of mine, Jared Getz, owns Zendrop, where you can white label, products even to where they will be branded with your brand. So, starting a Shopify drop shipping store, I think, is a great opportunity, and I'll let them go into that opportunity itself, but because that's their zone of genius, not mine. But I'm in the info product world, right? And so info products don't require any hard costs, no fulfillment. You can do that right now. So I believe all of us we're an expert in something. We have an expertise in something, and it's inside of all of us. And, if you don't know what that is and you're watching now, it's probably what it is that people ask you advice on. That's like a little hack or a little trick there to know what maybe you're an expert on. But whatever it is you have expertise in, you can create an ebook with very little effort. You can go, type it out. You can go hire a designer on FreeUp or Fiverr or one of those companies, and you can get a designer to make it look pretty. You can go get a ClickFunnels account and just go do competitive market research on others that are in that space, and don't copy what they're doing exactly, but take what they're doing and figure out how you can make it better, right? Take exactly what they do and just add your flavor to it. And your story of however it is that you became an expert in what it is that you're an expert in, your journey is what makes you unique. So a lot of people think that, my story, or they think like that space is too crowded. I don't have any room. Like, there's too many people doing that. That is total BS. Total BS. And matter of fact, if nobody's doing it, it's probably a bad idea. Because you don't want to do something that nobody's done. Then you're trying to reinvent the wheel. You want to do something that has already been done, that you can model the success of, and you can go peel out your own success. So hands down, an info product right now is a great time to launch an info product. And particularly if you know of a way to help other people make money from home, right? Like, that space is going to be unbelievably good for the next 12 to 24 months. Teaching people how to make money from their home is a great space. I launched a product. I didn't talk about it, but I launched a product with Robert Allen, New York Times bestselling author, on how to write a book and sell a book online. It's exactly what I just talked about. It's how to create an info product with your expertise. Mm-hmm. Robert helps them write the ebook, because he's built and he's been a multiple #1 New York Times bestselling author. And then I helped teach him how to sell the book online. So that offer was just kind of bumping along right before this COVID thing happened. Like it was okay. It wasn't like anything that was lighting the world on fire. But now that everybody's at home and looking for ways to make money, it's just like, it's going crazy. And I'm working as hard as I can to keep up with what it's doing. But info products, in my opinion, and that's really where I built my career. I helped build info products for big fitness celebrities out there. And they weren't fitness celebrities, by the way, when I started working with them. It was having an info product that allowed them to achieve that, because it was a way for them to grow their following at profit, right? Because we were putting so much ad spend into the ecosystem, they were growing this massive following at profit. So to me, it's an info product business, hands down, or a Shopify drop shipping type business. Those would be the two.
I like it. Cool. Matthew, and then we'll go to Tanner.
So my online shops got built in the print on demand industry. And so I'm going to second what Nick said with the Shopify and drop shipping. For us, we would just, we know the print on demand industry really, really well. And so marrying Shopify with the print on demand has been something that we've definitely shared a lot of data with and been able to help a lot of people do. And it's a way to create that online store without having a ton of inventory. So that's where we've been pushing people to take a look, because it's a low cost, and you can kind of learn as you go.
Do you still run the t-shirt business?
Nope, we sold it.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Tanner.
So I'm gonna split both sides of that thing. I've got a couple of things with what Nick said, because that's how I started as well. But to finish Matt's thought real quick, with the print on demand, it's basically printing your artwork on all different types of products, and it's zero cost inventory. It's not created until the order is placed, so the customer's already given you the money before you place the order with the manufacturer. They print it, they fulfill it to the customer, and then you pay them for it. So it's a great model. And a lot of people looked at POD because the guys who were doing it back in the Teespring days were literally just churning and burning. It was not a business. You can literally use POD to build a real brand that can then pivot and transition into other ancillary or market leading products that are, private labeled or regular dropship or whatever. So it's not like you're stuck with just t-shirts or pillows or stuff like that. One of our partner brands is massive in the POD space. They're, $1 million to $2 million a month every month. And they're 4 or 5Xing right now because of this COVID stuff. So it's not like apparel stopping or PODs going down, or it's insane. So it's a great one. But to go back to another thing, like info is a huge, easy way to start. And info can be married with Shopify stores. A lot of our e-comm brands have been pivoting and launching info products to go along with their brands. We have some big fitness equipment type brands that are higher ticket. They're pivoting and they're building out some training to go along with their stuff to also train the people who use their equipment to also make money with that equipment. So there's a lot of different pivots that are happening. We have a workout attire brand that is doing, it's like a CrossFit type workout brand, and they're doing info products as well to supplement their brand. But from a straight up startup point, like Nick said, you can't almost beat an info product because there's zero fulfillment cost. It's much quicker to get up. You create it, whether it's a video series. It doesn't have to be a book. Like a lot of people think of it as like writing a book, like Nick mentioned. A lot of people don't want to do that. That's fine. You can, and that's how I got started. My first info product was teaching people how to start a window cleaning business, because I was a window cleaner. I sold my window cleaning company because I had to have a cornea transplant and I couldn't work. I had no income, was losing my savings. So I created an info product, and it was all video based. And then I created a book to go with it. So it was very easy to do. And now there's even easier stuff. Like when I did it, it was ClickFunnels. Back when Nick used to actually work there. But before Nick worked there, it was even less user friendly back in the early 2000s. And it was really hard to do. But now you've got ClickFunnels, you've got Teachable, you've got, not ClickFunnels, excuse me, ClickBank.
ClickBank. That's
Sorry,
okay.
Nick. ClickBank. ClickBank was not user friendly back in the day. Now they've gotten better. But there's all these different platforms that have an active market of affiliates that can promote, easy to build, payment processors, everything is so simple for you to get up there. And as a live example of that, my sister, she lives in Australia right now. She is a Cirque du Soleil instructor. She teaches people how to do silks, lyra, circus type stuff and perform and do all that kind of stuff. Very hands-on, very much an in-person type of thing. Her business lost her entire business with this COVID stuff. Like obviously they can't have their classes. She can't teach. All the Cirque du Soleil people that she was instructing and training to be better, they all lost their jobs. So she had to pivot. Well, she took what she's been doing and she created a series of online courses that are now on Teachable. She has a membership program for people that were her regular students, and she's taken them through functional core exercises and things that they can do at home that will still further their circus stuff that they can't practice right now. So it's like, hey, you can't do silks, but here's all these other exercises, stretches, moves, and things that I can teach you that you can do so that by the time you get back to your silks, you're rocking. You're even better than you were. And so she's taken that expertise and she's turned it into different types of information products that are sold online. She has no tech skills. She's using third-party platforms like what Nick was talking about to do it. So there's a lot of opportunity out there for that. But the other side is maybe you don't have an expertise, maybe you don't in terms of like teaching, or you don't think you do, but you are technical. If you can learn how to set up a Shopify store, set up the funnel or the pages, the sales pages to help these people get something out there. You can go to a brick and mortar business that has physical products but doesn't have an online presence, and you can work with them to help them get online. There's a lot of different ways that you can make money during this time. But like Nick said, there's a huge transference of wealth getting ready to happen. Matt and I have been talking about this with our team and with other people that Nick, Matt, and I are in a mastermind together with a lot of really smart people. They're all saying the same thing. Like, this is the gold rush all over again for the internet. And it's literally starting over. There are more people shopping online, like 4 to 5 times more right now than there ever has been. And that number is increasing exponentially, as the weeks go on. Now, when the country opens up again, yeah, it'll change a little bit, but it'll never go back to the low levels that it was. We're always going to have this new norm of high levels of online shopping and online, not even just shopping, online experience. People are online all the time now looking for something. So whether it's a service, a delivery, a product, or whatever, there's so much opportunity out there for anybody to pivot and make some online income.
Ad inventory is actually the cheapest it's ever been.
I forgot about that.
Chime in, like ad costs, because it's just supply and demand, right? There's less people advertising right now because a lot of businesses got hurt in this. And so advertising costs are also the cheapest they've ever been. So it's like a perfect storm.
Yeah.
What would you guys, I'd love it. I'll let you be Nostradamus for me. I'd love to kind of predict the industries you see scale and some of the industries you think are going to tank. You just give me 2 or 3 each.
I think for sure brick and mortar businesses are going to take the hardest hit. There's probably 30% of them will never open again. A couple of industries that we've seen do really, really well right now is the fulfillment, because now instead of people going into the brick and mortar businesses to buy their stuff, they are buying it online. So the fulfillment, we're closely associated with 2 or 3 of them, and they are just like struggling to keep up with the new amount of things where people have to ship. So I think those 2 industries alone one's going to get hit, one's booming.
Nick?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously I already said it. I think make money online type offers are going to just do ridiculous amounts. And we actually saw that in 2008 and 2009, going back into like the ClickBank days, right? Like there was guys doing 80, 90 million a year. I won't mention names. One of them's on this call today listening. But there's guys that did, tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars in those types of offers. So I think like those offers digitally are going to grow. I think obviously health. I mean, my supplement company is growing really well right now. I think those categories like supplements are going to do really, really, really well over the next, because people are more health conscious and health minded now with what's happened. Actually, I think it's cool. I think real estate is going to do some bad things really in the next 12 months here. But I think if you really focus on stuff in the cash in the piggy bank now, you're going to have investment opportunities like we've never seen, even better than in 2008 and 2009, mid Q3, Q4 of next year of 2021. I think you're going to be in a really, really good position to enter into real estate investing market there. So in that, I also think real estate investing type offers are going to take off in the near future here if they aren't already. And I think commercial real estate is going to take a huge hit because of exactly what we were talking about. All the companies that are having the aha right now of like, oh my God, I can run my business. You know, they got pushed out of the nest. They weren't ready for it. Didn't want to do it. They did it kicking and screaming. But now they're like, oh, I don't have to go back to work. So I think I'm not alone in my aha there. I think there's going to be a lot of commercial real estate is going to take a big hit. And I think that's going to last a while, actually. I don't think I think there's going to be a supply and demand issue in real estate or in commercial for a while.
I love it. Hey, Nick, thank you for the insight on that. I think it's spot on too. I mean, I'm glad I got onto this call today so I could hear it, because I think that's the shift that a lot of people can't see. You know, we run an operation, and you know, like the amount of inventory coming online for businesses that have closed is sad, but it's like people are just going to sell because they want the cash. Right. It may not be the right opportunity to hold it and not have anybody in it for the next 3 years, 2 years come and take their space. So they're like, well, let me get money back into my portfolio so I can figure out what I'm going to do with it and then go make a decision on that. So I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do, this is fun. I just need a piece of paper, you three, and a pen really, really quick. So it's like a 3-minute you wrap up session today. Any parting words, any takeaways that you found yourself, anything that you feel like we haven't talked that it's important that you want to get off your chest, please do so. Then that's kind of just taking quick little scribbles throughout everybody's kind of shares today. There's going to be 6 kind of like things that I bring up. Pick 3 and elaborate on them if you'd like, to kind of wrap up like a 3-minute share. So imagine you are the close of a major event that you hosted, and this is the impactful information you want to give the audience and have them take away. So the subjects today was family time during this moment in history where you're at, the importance of spending time with your family or being connected, the shift or the pivot. Like what are we seeing in our economy and what's that opportunity? POD or drop shipping. I think that was really vital, of like the importance of, you know, Nick gave the example of like, you know, you can fully get a customized brand and, you know, you don't even have to do anything other than get the sale ahead of time. And then you can go and design it. Mindset. How important is your mindset right now? And what are maybe some tactics that you're applying on a daily basis? I love the outdoor exercise. I love, you know, finding time to meditate or whatever that may be. Find your lane and go faster. How do you find your lane, your niche? How do you go faster in it now, more so than you ever have before? And then I think the last piece, I think it became one of the topics today, was info product. Like, you know, like, become that expert, you know, like what is everybody calling you on the phone, or what is everybody always asking you about? This is a time that you could release something around that. And then, yeah, just wrap up. Be sure to mention your company one more time. And if it's a .com, just what that URL is for anybody going to listen to the show after the show. I want them to have the ability to come and find you. So we will kick it off today. Let's go with Tanner, Matt, and then Nick.
So first one, it was the first one you mentioned, which was family time. And, you know, we obviously, you know, a lot of us who have kids or whatever, you know, we're at home with them more than we've ever been outside of the time when maybe they were babies, but also people who were working are now home more. So the family unit is not used to that much togetherness. And what's, you know, probably happening in a lot of cases, and definitely happening here, is true colors and like and things are showing up, right? Like, you're not really as patient with your kids as you think you are. You're not really as in tune or in touch or whatever. So this is an opportunity for us to address those and become aware of them and use this forced togetherness to heal, fix, repair, deepen the relationships. And it's for me, it's one of the biggest things is what I thought was this much patience is probably like really this much. And I need to work on that with my kids because they're just being kids. They've got energy, and I need to work on that, because I want that relationship I don't want to sour it because daddy can't be patient with my kids having fun or just being kids. And, I'm not the only one. I talked to a lot of other parents and a lot of other business owners that have the same kind of thing. And where I'm on a call, I'm trying to work. Yesterday, Paxton was standing outside my door, my 4-year-old, screaming at the top of his lungs while I'm on a call. Why? Because he wanted to. There was nothing wrong. But, how do I handle that? So that's number one, is you have this opportunity to deepen, strengthen, and fix your family unit dynamics and relationship, and really look at yourself and how can you be better. The next thing is really kind of it's two and three together, a mindset / your business. And that is, we talked about the news. Everything in the news is all victim oriented. It's all woe is me. It's this a horrible thing. The government's ruining the country. The Republicans are doing this. The Democrats are doing this. The whatever. And then, then you got everybody with their own agenda, and Bill Gates is going to kill the world and whatever. None of that means shit. The only thing that matters is that you keep a strong mind here and realize that what happens is how you react to that information, whether you block it out and you say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to deal with what I can control. You can't control any of that. We can't control how long we stay on lockdown right now. We can't control whether COVID goes away or comes back. We can't control whether the real estate market tanks or any of those things right now. All you can control is what's within your lane. And the time right now is that you should be doing that. Everybody keeps saying, like, when things go back to normal, then I'll start working out again. When things go back to normal, then I'll start my business, or then I'll do this, or then I'll whatever. You got to realize, guys, things are never going back to normal. We've passed that point. We don't know what the new normal is, but Jim Rohn always said, he has a quote where he's like, someone would talk to him and say, man, I wish somebody would just come out and turn me on. And Jim Rohn's quote was, what if they never show up? Like, you're screwed. Well, that's what the same mentality that's going on right now. When things get back to normal, then I'll blank. Then I'll fix my life. Then I'll make money. Then I'll start a business. What if normal takes a year, 6 years, 5 years? What if normal never happens? You have your time right now to actually take control of your life, or retake control of your life, and push. You heard Nick talk, you heard Matt talk, Tony, everybody, and everybody who's been on this show before, Tony, everybody is digging in harder, pushing harder, working harder, doing more, succeeding more, spending more time, doing everything they can to push forward. And you know what? That's really the only option you have if you want to have a better life and come out of this stronger, or even on par with where you came into it. So I'll stop there. That was my soapbox.
Brought to you in part by
50% of buildgrowscale.com. The other 50% below me right there.
Yes. So I will, I don't get to do, or I don't even want to do as much speaking and talking publicly as Tanner and Nick do. I tend to prefer to be in the background, but with our team, we actually just hired number 50 on this past Sunday. And so for me, what I've realized is every time that I work on the 6 inches between my ears, everything on the outside gets much, much better. And so this past year, we've doubled down as a company on emotional intelligence, and watched people perform at levels that we never have witnessed, because of the fact that it's not just how smart you are, but it's how you open up with people, how vulnerable you are, the connection that you have, and how you support each other. And so for me, I would just tell people that to figure out a daily routine, like Nick was talking about in the beginning, how everyone's routines have changed. If you get a daily routine that gives you those early quick wins in the day, the rest of your day can become chaotic with having to do the homeschooling, or, instead of reacting to everything in your day, you become very proactive. And by having that early morning routine, like Tanner said, showing up at the gym in the morning before daylight made him feel like he conquers his day. if you set up a couple of small daily slight edge actions that help you win in the key areas of your life to start your day, then everything else can be chaotic, or the news can say whatever, and you're still winning every day. And so for me, I picked 4 areas that were super important. 1, my fitness and health, and obviously eating correctly. And then 2, I meditate and I journal every day. 3rd, we have a gratitude practice, and that's one thing that's really helped our team. I heard Nick say, like, on Monday they talk about what they did on their weekend, and it was fun and kind of has brought them together. Well, we have a Slack group, and the entire focus of that group is what we're grateful for. And we split it into 3 areas. 1, what we're grateful for in our life. 2, what we're grateful for with everybody else that we work with. And 1 thing that we appreciate about ourselves. And the reason why we do that is because we're in this habit of like not appreciating ourselves, or thinking that that's arrogant or egotistical or whatever. But the problem is all of us have that little nerd voice in the back of our head that's super negative self-talk. And when you take the time every single day to focus on something about yourself that you're grateful for, we've watched our entire team's self-talk become much, much better, because now, 5 days a week, they're thinking about something about themselves that they appreciate enough that they'll actually share it in public with 50 other people. And now if someone says something to them that doesn't really fit their model of themselves, it doesn't crush them anymore. Now they're just like, oh yeah, that's your opinion. It's not true. And so we've found that in the new normal, working on your mindset and having a daily routine for us has helped us thrive. And love to share any more about that too.
I appreciate it. I think there's a lot of good chunks in there between Tanner and Matthew. So Nick, wrap us up, and then I'm going to close today with something cool for everyone watching, and then what's coming. So just stick around for that.
All right, cool. Yeah. So I think you guys nailed it. All of you guys nailed it. For me, it's about right now is the time to go deeper, to focus, to work harder. For those of you that are in pain or suffering right now, embrace the darkness. Look up a video on Tom Bilyeu talking about embracing the darkness. It's a brilliant talk, but I have accomplished more in my life in times of darkness than I ever have in times of abundance. Meaning when things get harder, when I'm hurt, when I'm suffering, I work 10 times harder, and I make it a point to embrace that darkness and go get after it. Right. But the key to that from a mindset perspective is embrace it long enough to create massive action and momentum, and then let it go. A lot of people hold on to the darkness too long too. So you got to be able to let that go when you start to experience the abundance. But now is the time to work harder than you've ever worked. I'm working 14, 15 hours a day right now, 7 days a week, literally. Like I'm not stopping, because there's so much opportunity that I want to create for myself, my company, my employees, my family, all of that, which brings me to family. Family, guys, like if you don't have kids of your own, connecting with your extended family right now. I just held a digital family reunion for my family. We haven't had a family reunion in like 5 years on Zoom. It was freaking amazing. So connect with your family. And I think what Tanner said too, as an extension of just like personal development, is own it, right? Like I really firmly believe in own it. If you have problems in your marriage, in your family, in your, extended family, whatever that is, in your business, right? It's all your fault at the end of the day. 100%. The beautiful thing about it all being your fault is that now you have the power to fix it. If you accept responsibility, then you're empowered to fix it. Whereas if you're a victim, you're giving other people your power, right? So you don't want to ever be a victim. Own it and fix it. That's what's beautiful about it. The last thing that I would say is that, you have a chance right now to either embrace this new thing that's happening or deny the new thing that's happening, right? Like, so embrace it. It's the reality, whether you like it or not. We don't know what the new norm is going to be, like Tanner talked about. But when things get crazy, you can either be like, oh, they're crazy. Why am I going to do this, or why am I going to do that? It is what it is, guys. It's smacking you in the face. You either deal with it or you don't. But those that choose to do it are going to be highly successful right now. So that's what I would say.
And the best way for people to find you?
Sawtoothmediagroup.com. So you need traffic, funnels, video production, or customer service. Those are the 4 things we do.
I love it. Hey guys, I just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for just giving the world an hour of your time. I can only imagine, Tanner, what it's like, your kid standing outside the door screaming. But I will tell you what I missed. And that is when they went off to school, that wasn't the case anymore. Right. And so my son's home now, came home from his freshman year in college, and my other son is with his girlfriend's family in Utah. And, there's this weird feeling because I can't reach out and grab my oldest and hold him and tell him like, wow, like I love him. I miss him, And I'm just reminded today with you 3 how uniquely gifted and grateful I am for you all coming into my life. If it wasn't for me saying yes to Tanner's invite to come to Austin, Texas, I never would have run into Nick and have the opportunity to connect. Right? If I didn't say yes and come check out an event, I never would have met Matthew. And I think that's the big message for me that I leave with today is be open-minded and don't close out what's going on around you is like, well, it's all going on. It's happening to me. Be like open so much that you realize what's really truly happening to you is what you make of what's really coming your way. And there's so many gifts and there's so many abilities. And y'all talked about journaling today. Y'all talked about family time. Y'all talked about real things that are impacting your world. So anybody listening, anybody watching, I hope that you were able to get what you needed today. You were able to take something from it. If you want to know the next broadcast, you can check out networkingremote.com. Don't miss our next show coming up. Tuesday, we have Ezra Firestone, Perry Marshall, and Ed O'Keefe joining us as our next panel of guests.
Good group.
I love those guys.
Everybody that is listening today, watching, even on the replay, thank you for giving a little bit of your mind an opportunity to hear something today. Hopefully you can put it into play. And like as I always say, go make today the absolute best day of your life.
That's right.
Thanks for listening to the Networking Remote. Remember, you are not alone. Stay connected